Yeah, I was going to Pomona.
What did I think, man?
Were you guys in Pomona?
I was literally just down the road, dude, and then I went east, and then Valley's closed off the 10. Dude, the traffic nightmare.
The father, mom is 24.
Yes.
She's still in the hospital, so she's
Yes.
not going to be arrested.
Until the right, she's cleared. Exactly.
Is she talking?
As far as I know, she is. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Yes.
CELOBLANCO, captain with the Upland Police Department.
Tell me a little bit about what you guys came across here this afternoon.
So about 11:30 this morning, we received a call from one of the local residents at this apartment complex behind me in reference to a child crying. As they stayed on the phone with us and continued to watch what was going on, they noticed that what we've confirmed now to be the mother of that child dropped that child from the second-story landing onto the floor below. As officers arrived, the mother was still in the second-story landing. She saw the officers and then proceeded to jump off. Officers began tending to the mother and the child that were on the floor. As additional officers arrived, they conducted a sweep or safety check of the apartment, and inside they found another female infant not breathing and unresponsive. Fortunately, as both of the children were transported to the hospital, they were breathing and somewhat responsive. The mother is currently in stable condition. She is speaking to our investigators and has some facial injuries. The male child was airlifted to a local trauma center, and appears that at the moment he's in stable condition. And the female child was also taken to a local trauma center. I do not have a condition on her yet.
Now, Captain, are you familiar with this resident? Have you been here? Have you received any calls here to this apartment before?
I don't have any prior record or any information on this location, and it doesn't seem like someone that we've been to.
Tell me about the types of injuries on that female victim inside. How old was she, or how old is she, and what type of injuries did she have?
She's 24 years of age. From what I gathered from the detectives, she just had facial injuries and nothing else.
Both children flown to Loma Linda, or one taken on ground?
I know one child was flown and the other one was taken on ground.
Any idea what would have caused the mother to do this? Is it the mother?
I was able to confirm, yes, it's the mother of the two infants. At this point, we're still trying to figure out what that motive is, but unfortunately, we don't have one.
Was there bruising or any indication that the mother might have beaten up the other child that was inside, the female?
One of your other reporters had mentioned something about that. Unfortunately, I do not have that information. So I know that once we arrive on scene, the primary concern is trying to get those children to breathe and be responsive. So none of the officers that are here, investigators, have been able to share that with me.
Were any of your officers performing CPR on that unresponsive female inside, or was that something that she just started breathing on her own?
I don't have that information, but my assumption would be that if the child was not breathing, that would be their initial assessment is to begin CPR.
So what are you looking at from this point forward? What is it that you're investigating here? What is it you're doing?
Well, we're currently speaking with the father who arrived earlier, as you noticed, and just trying to determine what would cause someone to, in a sense, throw a child from a second-story landing onto the floor below, and what would cause them to, in a sense, not call us if now their other child is not breathing or not responsive.
And that mother has been taken into custody?
At this point, she's at the hospital being treated. I would surmise that ultimately that's what we're going to do.
What charges would a mother face in those situations? What would that be?
We definitely have felony child endangerment for this type of action.
Did you gather any information from the surrounding residents that there's been issues at that apartment at all, or is this something that maybe just caught everybody off guard?
At this point, I don't know. I know our detectives and officers are conducting a canvass, so they would have that information. I haven't had a chance to follow up with them to see if it's been an issue in the past.
No weapons found, though, inside?
None that I am aware of.
I think I'm good. Beatrice, are you?
I'm good.
You're good? Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
I appreciate it.